Okay, so had a conversation with Glenn Hollins the other day about doing some sort of investment tracker for Bitcoin, and I thought what would be really interesting to do after having a look at CoinStats and their portfolio tracker is thinking to myself, well, let's say somebody decided they was going to give up smoking this year, and the money that they was going to spend through the year smoking, they're going to invest in Bitcoin instead. But obviously, we want something to sort of like base an opinion on. So let's say that person decided to give up smoking New Year's Eve last year, and they were spending 25 quid a week on fags, and they decided they were going to quit smoking and use that £25 a week to invest in Bitcoin instead. This is something that we can set up in the CoinStats portfolio tracker. So I've already done the first initial purchase, which would have been the 31st of January 2019, and that was a deposit of £100 in Bitcoin, and at the time Bitcoin was worth just over £5,000. So the initial investment of £100 today would be worth £486.34. So what I'm going to do now is let's add the 31st of February transaction. So we've got to first of all put the coin in. So we're going to choose Bitcoin. The exchange pair is going to be BTC-GBP for British pounds. So we'll choose the date. We're going to go back to 2020. We need to go back to February 2020. We're going to do the last day of the month, the 29th. The price of Bitcoin had fallen then to £4,725.38. So what I need to do is copy that. We're going to do 1 divided by price of Bitcoin, and then that gives us the amount of Bitcoin that we could have bought on the day with £100. With £1. So we need to then times that by 100. So that gives us 0.02 Bitcoin. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, so we'll pop that in there for the amount that we're buying. We'll put the fee amount down as £1. So it's costing you £1 out of your £100 to buy that amount of Bitcoin, and then we're going to add that to our portfolio as if we bought it last February. Okay, so now we can see that has now brought this up to £1,026. Remember, so last January and February we invested a total of £200, and already that investment is £1,026. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way up to the 31st of December. I'm going to add all of those transactions in, and then we'll see what that £25 a week investment would have been at the end of December this year. So I'm going to pause the video and add those transactions in, and then come back and we'll have a look at it. Okay, so just adding in the last transaction now, which will be December. So BTC GBP. So we're going to go for December 2020, the last day of the month. The price has now risen to £15,720 per Bitcoin. So we're going to get a lot less for our £100 on this last transaction, and it's been getting less and less as I've been filling all of these in. So that's £1 worth. Let's times that by 100. Gives us 0.06 Bitcoin now for £100 rather than the 0.02 Bitcoin which we was getting January last year. Okay, so let's just add this last one in. Fee amount is £1 again, and we will save that. Okay, so this is where we're at. If we'd invested last year £100 a month into Bitcoin, so I've done all of the transactions. See, I've put £100 in for January, £100 in for February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November and December. When we started buying back in January, the price, we could buy 0.01935 Bitcoin for £100. But then in December of last year, the same £100 was only buying us 0.0063 Bitcoin for £100. But we've got our monthly investment of £100 into Bitcoin for last year. That's a total of £1,200. But the value of that today is £6,340. So, you know, as the price of Bitcoin has gone up, you can see that the earlier we started buying, the more value we was getting pound to Bitcoin. But yeah, I think that's a good example of how a small investment into Bitcoin through something as simple as giving up smoking and using that money to invest can have a massive compounding effect. So yeah, it's an interesting conversation to have with Glenn about how could we, do some sort of tracker. I thought that was a really good way to demonstrate how powerful Bitcoin's been over the last year, and how I think cryptocurrency is going to be just as powerful in the coming years. And I think, starting with small investments and just putting it in dollar cost averaging over time is a great thing to think about. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you've got any other things that you'd like me to track, or any other ideas you'd like to try out on this tracker, then leave a comment below this video, send me a message, and I'll see if that's something we can do.